Jules here from Joolsedesigns and JT Creations. I must apologise, the video on my last video just cut off. Normally my phone cuts off video in at 40 minutes and then restarts again without a gap, but for some reason it did it. So we were doing the journal, so what you missed was me putting the grommets in and just kind of finishing it off. I've stitched the signatures in, but what I'm wanting to do now is I'm wanting to make charms. And anybody that saw my Christmas in July 23 would have seen my little snowman charm. So what I decided to do, because my kit is pomegranates and pumpkins, I decided to make some little button pumpkins. There's several ways you can use them. I'm not an expert. That was the first time I'd had a go, and it took me a wee while to work out how to do a snowman, for it to look like a snowman anyway. I have lots of buttons because I used to do button art. So I've got some. I did this one. This was with big buttons, and all you need is just some buttons just that sort of like go down so that you've got that kind of, it's not a pumpkin shape, but on an autumn journal it looks like a pumpkin. That's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. On that one I did use thread, but it was a bit of a pain in the backside. On the snowman I used wire, and that's what I'm going to be using again today. And this is just florist's wire. I used to do, I'm not a florist, not trained by any means. My mum is trained, but I did all my own wedding with the help of my mum, of course. So what I do is, some buttons have 4 holes in, some buttons have 2 holes in. So I start with, I'm starting with the smallest one at the bottom. And what I'm doing is I'm putting the wires, this is only a 2-holer, so I'm putting the wires in both holes. And then pull the wires through so that they're equal. Now that's the top one. And if you've got domed ones, you're best off having that on the top or on the bottom. This one's going on the bottom because this is the next one next to the smallest one. And what I do is, if it's a 4-holer, I tend to go not next to, I tend to go the, you know, across the way. Then we've got this one, and again this one's going across the way. I mean, I spent ages, so there, so we've got kind of the line of the bottom of the pumpkin, kind of looks more like a turnip. Of course, when we were kids, that was what we got, was turnips. We didn't have, they didn't have pumpkins. Didn't know what, well, you did know what pumpkins were, but it was an American thing. You didn't have them. I mean, I was brought up way back in the 60s. I think we just got over the war. Not quite. And then again, this is a flat one. Oh, come on, Julie. So there's my little pumpkin. Now what I do want is, I want a little stalk, and the stalks are usually brown, so I've got a little bit of felt here. It's just a tiny bit. And that's why I used thread, because I thought it would be easier to get the the needle through a thread, through felt, but it seems to be working all right. So all I've done is I've just put it on one stalk, and I just put some at the bottom and some at the top. It doesn't matter if it doesn't and then what I'm doing is I am taking the wires together. Oh. Do you know, if I had a good pair of pliers that would grip properly, and then what I'm doing is I am twisting it. And I'm not a jewellery maker either, so I dabble, for want of a better word. And then I want a little charm off the pumpkin. I know we don't normally have charms on pumpkins, but I'm going to have this little butterfly. Oh, trying to put it through the pattern in the wing instead of there. And on the back it says created for you. And then all I'm doing is trying to make a little hole. No, a little hole, like a little round, oh, what do they call them? A little loop. With my needle-nosed pliers, and just threading that through there, needle nose plier back through, and then pull that. And then I'm just going to trim it off. Now remember, these aren't made for kids, so they might have little sharp bits on, so please, I mean, you can make them to go on little Christmas trees and things like that. So there we have two pumpkins. So now I'm going to do a pomegranate, and I've got, yeah, so I'm trying to get these sorted. So that one goes next, and then that one, then that one. Oh, I think we've got 3 pomegranates. I think we've maybe got 3 pomegranates, but where's my gold wire? What did I do with it? See, again, you can use thicker wire. I think the thinner the wire, the more pliable it is. And so I'm putting this through. Oh, again, some of them are 2-hole buttonholes, some of them are 4-hole. So if it's 4-hole, you just go across the way. It was harder with a needle because you're threading a needle through, and you had to keep twisting the buttons and to get the needle through, where this is a lot easier, the wire. think there's actually put this one in here. And this was about the nearest colour I could get to pomegranate. Yeah, I used to do button art. I used to do the little stick people with the button heads. You know, no, that doesn't look like a pomegranate. I think we'll stick with the little one and just do some little tiny ones. That's more like it. And then I've got some little beads, little gold beads. I was looking in my charm box when I was looking for the little charms, and I found these little gold beads. So got a little gold bead on, and all I'm doing is I'm just twisting the way. I have got a wee like pen thing that grips it, that twists it. No, I'm not going to put a and I'm just keeping a grip of the little loop that I've just made, and then I'm just putting this way around. And then take them off. I'm just trying to squish that wire in without squishing me. So there you are. So we've got little pomegranate. And I am going to have a go at doing some of these at Christmas. I'm going to have a go at doing some Christmas trees, because obviously I've got big bags of buttons in all colours. Because when people wanted a picture of the family, you know, they stipulated what colour buttons they wanted. Sometimes it was to match the colour of the hair. I've had to draw budgies and turtles, tortoises and stuff like that. Dogs was the... So that's why I've got so many little buttons as well. Oh, see, what's happened is that's gone, instead of it going into the ones opposite, it's gone into the one next to it, which puts the button a bit lopsided. And one in and use this one. It's gone in that one, so it needs to go in. So I'll come up close to the camera. When I get it pulled through. Right. So there. So it's in the opposite. Think that, oh no, it isn't, it's a bit bigger. So this is just a 2-hole. And do we want that one, or do we want a dark one? The light one on the top. Right, we're going to have this one. This is going to be a slightly bigger pomegranate. And again on a 2-hole. Some of these buttons I got from, they were craft buttons. Do Crafts, Paper Mania. Paper Mania, Do Crafts did Paper Mania. And they were like, you got them in a box. Because at one point in card making, buttons were quite popular. And that's, I ended up with sort of like 2 boxes of those, and that's when I decided to do the, there we are. So, and tie that tight. It's just, you twist it quite tight down to the button, then it just stops the buttons from moving and loosening your wire up. And I'll just trim that off before I start, and we'll put that there. Right. Oh, it's that way, isn't it? Told you I wasn't a jewellery maker. Right, let me put that out straight again. And then we'll put that round. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually try and put that round the the gold bead. I've managed to get it around the gold bead. I was laughing at my husband. He was, he'd come in my craft room for something, and I had the drawer open with all these needle nose pliers and everything. He goes, "Why have you got a drawer with so many pliers and things?" I says, "Because I use them for wirecraft." He's kind of like, "Oh, right, okay." I don't know whether I'd get another. That's got a brown one. Oh no, we might. We'll have a go. I've got some stronger wire here that I was going to use. I'll have a go at doing this. So we'll put the brown one on the bottom. And that's just a 2-hole. See, this isn't as pliable as and we'll have that. Oops. That. And that one goes in across the way. And then again, I'll put in the longer one first. I suppose after you've made a couple, you get into the swing of it. You find out what's easy for you, what's comfortable for you, and that's the main thing. But I just wanted to come on and do these because I was going to make some, and I know I got a lot of comments about my little snowman. It's kind of that's because that's gone through the wrong button. That's why that's the wrong hole, sorry. That's what happens when you have a 4-holer and it goes through the 2 adjacent instead of the 2 corner ones. That's done the same. It's easier to see that wire, but it's kind of and it's probably easier to make a loop with this wire. And again, what am I doing? But it is harder to wind round. It would nip your fingers, I think. Well, when I say nip your fingers, it wouldn't nip your fingers, but that's when something's so in Scotland, it's nippy. Or if somebody's annoying, they're nippy. Okay, that's got a better loop on it. So I hope you enjoyed that. So these will sit on the edge of my journal when I get it. So I will put a little metal clip through there, and we'll have probably the big one, and the others I think I'll do as charms throughout the journal, but you will see them you know, in the flip through. So that's that. The other thing that I wanted to show you was doing labels. I've done it before, and it's just, you know, if you've got your colours for your journal, let me get these. Alright, so I'm just, now my journal, the colours for my journal, pomegranates and pumpkins, and it seemed to match in with the tea dye and the Victorian velvet. But what I did was I used the Momento espresso to do the actual stamping. Now I've just got some circle dies. I'd run out of circle dies, so I'm not bothered that. Oh, do you know what I've done? I've stuck that on the, whoa, Wally. Hey, I do some silly things. Have you ever done that? Tried to stick your stamp on. I'm just going to do a small section of these. So there's, and they're just toadstools, and you can see where it doesn't actually catch on the sticker sheet. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what's on your label. Nobody really notices, just as long as it matches in colour or it looks attractive. I'm just going to put this one back on. Try and get that one. There we are. And we'll take that off. And I've got some scripty. And that's all I do. You don't even have to have it the same way. You don't even have to use one of these oh dear, stamping on my desk. So there we are, and I'll just wipe that up a little bit. And all I do is this is my tea dye, and then I just come in like that. I should have my messy mat down, yeah, because I'm going to get ink on my desk, but I've already done that, so that's fine. And if you only wanted to do, you know, if you were wanting to do different colours on your stickers, just fold it in half like that, and there we are, going in with the, I keep wanting to call it pomegranate, the Victorian velvet. And it, you know, you can even put it sort of like, I like to mix my colours, you know, because I think the tea dye and the Victorian velvet are kind of on the same tone. And then you can go over the top like that, and there we have it. Now, that doesn't necessarily have to go into autumn, so if I don't use all those on my autumn journal, I can use that on my Christmas journal. No problem, because my Christmas journal is gold. And that was another thing I wanted to show you as well, is if you watched me make the cover for my autumn journal, you'll see that I started off with one that I didn't use. And the reason I couldn't use it was because I couldn't stitch round it. However, with perseverance, I managed to do a blanket stitch. It hasn't gone right through. I managed to do a blanket stitch, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as my Christmas journal. And because it's Hessian, like sacking, I'm going to, I did the blanket stitch to make it look a bit like Santa's sack type thing. So I'm going to have a go at maybe doing some Christmas stamps and doing a little bit of embroidery. I'm not the greatest embroiderer. I mean, the last time I did that stitch was when I was in the junior school, when I did sewing, and I made a peg bag, and that was what we had to do. It was wasn't Hessian we used, but it was something like Hessian, the material, and we had to do the blanket stitch round. So I was kind of in my comfort zone with that, because I'd done it when I was small. Anyway, that's enough waffle. So I hope you get something out of our little charms. I hope you have a go at trying some labels, and just remember, if you make a mistake, it's not wasted. There's always something that you can use it for. Just because I can't stitch around it with the sewing machine, it's going to be my next journal. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye.